Hey, what's up everyone, this is Sean and welcome to another brand new video here on the Magic and Thrills. Hey, what's up everyone, this is Sean and welcome to another brand new video here on the Magic and Thrills. Now today I wanted to kind of follow up our video from yesterday, which was showing off the first real in-park photos that were taken by Universal of each land at Epic Universe, and just kind of really follow up with another video on basically just showing off or just showcasing or featuring our personal favorite lands that we're excited for the most at Epic Universe. Now there is of course there's 4 lands essentially, or 5 if you include the Celestial Park, which is kind of the mecca of everything in Epic Universe. So again, we've got the How to Train Your Dragon, the Isle of Berk, we have the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and the Mystery of Magic, Dark Universe of course, and the Super Nintendo World. Now each of these lands is of course going to feature or be a completely separate different land that is going to feature its own characters, its own experiences, its own meals, its own food. Everything will be completely individual, but it'll all be joined again by Celestial Park. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of just go through my own personal favorites. And of course, I want you, if you would, if you're up to it, to show in the comments below or share in the comments below what you're most looking forward to with Epic Universe, or if you're even looking forward to discovering lands that you never really have looked into before, as far as just maybe movies you never watched before, or games you never played, or whatever, and so on and so forth. So for me, the most up there, like super stoked that I'm ready for to see is going to be Dark Universe. And if you've watched any of my other videos on Epic Universe, you probably already know this, just because I'm a very huge horror movie, thriller movie fan. I love Halloween Horror Nights. I go there every year, and I have been for a few years for Universal Orlando as it is. And I was actually unaware, as sad as this might sound, that Universal Orlando, or Universal Pictures in a sense, kind of started the horror genre, as far as the original Universal Monsters movies that came out years and decades ago. So I didn't know the history of it until I started to watch the history of Halloween Horror Nights and know the history of what Universal has brought to kind of just to the world as far as media and movies go. Kind of the same way as like Disney, like with their with their really old school movies like Snow White and so on and so forth. But I just love the idea of having, because I love Halloween Horror Nights and I love everything about that experience. I don't like that it's seasonal, although they are doing the new Las Vegas experience, which I do have tickets for this August for opening weekend. Actually, I'm super stoked about that. But just the idea that they're gonna be, that they kind of really honed in on an idea of because Universal is really great at really kind of, so to speak, taking a swing at things. And what I mean by that is they will really kind of test the limits of what maybe the general population of theme park enthusiasts are willing to accept for maybe being a little bit, I don't want to say too scary, but they're willing to push the limit against what is considered too scary. Because again, this is a family park. Epic Universe is a family park. It's built for, it's intended for everyone to visit. However, I've already heard many reviews from team members on Twitter and on YouTube that they are not afraid, and they are really pushing the envelope a little bit, especially with the Monsters Unchained ride at Epic Universe. So they are definitely trying to have it be family friendly, but still it's a PG-13 effort of darkness as far as the actual theming with how dark they're going. And I've seen a lot of reviews lately, especially, that are basically saying that the Monsters Unchained ride is really kind of pushing that envelope, if you want to put it that way, of what is acceptable, if you will, as being family friendly. And I love that, because it's really, I think, a cool idea that only Universal can do. Because if you want to, not to compare it, but it is going to be compared, because if you look at Disney World, for example, or any other theme park that's not Universal, there's not really anything that is, including the other lands like Super Nintendo World, and just other more 7-8-year-old movies that are intended for kids, and then you have the adult versions of the horror genre, if you will, in a sense. So it's just a very cool thing that I love about Universal, that they've been really pushing forward with lately, where they are like, hey, we will at least attempt. And the fact that it's a permanent part of the park is what makes it the coolest thing to me, because it's not a seasonal offering. It's, this is, and that's what I love about Halloween Horror Nights, is that I know for the most part, exactly what I'm getting from Halloween Horror Nights. I know it's going to be intensely graphic. The stories are very, very kind of brutal in some ways, sometimes, especially the original ones. The IP ones are in Halloween Horror Nights are mainly more for, to be for more of an entertainment factor and a thrill factor than horror, essentially. But their their original story ones are really usually more of the graphic stories that they come up with, and they really show that off through the Halloween Horror Nights experience. So from what I've heard of Dark Universe and just the entire experience from the moment that you walk through the portal and just the land itself and the characters that walk around and the restaurants that they have and how dark they are and how the aesthetics of the area are very, very built for PG-13, for that rating kind of, so to speak. And I think that the fact that they're at least ambitious enough to try and do that on a everyday theme park is really cool. It's never really, to my knowledge or experience, been done before like that. I've never seen a theme park really push for a permanent, non-seasonal, year-round, not Halloween, but just a horror experience that's based off of their own history, of course. That's going to be in that sense of let's see how far we can push this limit. And I've even heard that the ride, again, Monsters Unchained, is even darker, even more thrilling, and all the reviews I've seen of it so far have been kind of the same thing, where it's been that it's going to be it's a dark experience. It's a very thrilling ride. It's a very smooth ride, which is cool. But it's a very intense ride. It's not made for everyone, and again, a lot of the reviews I'm seeing from it are basically showing that it's really not for anyone that's unable to handle that type of genre, you know what I mean, where it's one of those things. So that is my most look forward to experience of Epic Universe right now. And again, I'm super stoked because I'll be going there in June, and I'm trying to get tickets for even opening week if possible. We'll see about that. But again, that's my most look forward to land. Now, the other land that I'm looking forward to the most for myself is going to be the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, and this is primarily because I have I grew up on the Harry Potter books, so to speak. I didn't really like, and it seems like not many other people did either, but I didn't really like the majority of the Fantastic Beasts movies. I thought they were a good idea, but I don't think that they were really, I think it was kind of a, how to put this positively, a very kind of cool idea, but maybe not executed in the most interesting way. Like, I don't know why they chose the Fantastic Beasts, meaning Warner Brothers, not Universal, but Warner Brothers. I don't know why they chose Fantastic Beasts as a concept to push as hard as they did with 3 films, because again, it's a book within the books. It's because it's based on the Fantastic Beasts book, which is inside the Harry Potter series. The time period of the Harry Potter of the Fantastic Beasts book is not the same as what we all grew up on for the 90s movies, but it is all kind of it's the same world. However, I'm excited for the Ministry of Magic portion of the experience, and no one, to my knowledge, has ridden that ride of the battle for the Ministry. No one to my knowledge has ridden that ride yet at all, so I don't know of any previews of it, and I think from what I've heard from it, they are still working on getting it absolutely fine-tuned as a ride, and which is a good thing, and I'm going to go through why that's important in a minute here, but I'm excited for that experience, not just the ride, but just the experience, because I think that one thing that Universal has really kind of started doing more lately is their character meet and greets. Because if you go into the Islands of Adventure Park at Universal, they have a lot of the music from the Harry Potter series, and they have a lot of the performances that are in the movies from the Harry Potter series. But it's really more of a kind of a walkthrough experience, where it's it's more of a visual walkthrough experience, and the rides are also, of course, what we know them for, as far as Hagrid's Magic Motorbike Adventure, and then they have the Hogwarts ride as well, which is a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit more of a jerky ride. It needs to be, I feel like it could be tuned up a little bit at this point. But again, I love the Harry Potter series, the world. I grew up on it. I grew up on the movies, the books. I read the books many times. So that would be my next most look forward to part of this universe. But my kids love the other two areas, so I'm excited to see what they react to. My son, he loves the Super Nintendo world. He loves Mario and Luigi, and then my daughter loves the How to Train Your Dragon movie series. And so I'm super stoked to see how they respond and react to a fully immersive world of being able to walk through those worlds essentially, because they never experienced anything like that as kids. Like, they've seen the movies, they've watched them many times and that kind of thing, of course, but they've never been through those worlds as a walking version of them in a meet and greet portion. So I'm just excited for them to experience that as kids, much the same way that I'm ready to experience the Dark Universe and Harry Potter experience myself. So those are my personal experiences I'm super stoked for, as far as just what's up and coming at Epic Universe. And one thing I want to bring up too really quickly is that I'm really hoping that Universal is taking the absolute care right now, before all this opens, of making sure that these experiences and the rides are ready to go. Because what I don't want to see happen, it may be impossible to prevent, but what I would like to not see happen is I would like to see them not have the Disney issue right now, which is where Disney World is having this thing where they are having a large chunk of their premium rides break down, and they're really not even fixing stuff, which bothers me for how much these theme parks are costing these days. Like, one of my favorite YouTubers recently went to ride Rise of the Resistance, and one of the entire rooms that is featured on Rise of the Resistance is not even turned on right now. Like, you literally just go through it, stop for a minute, and then keep going. And there's supposed to be a whole interactive experience in the room on Rise of the Resistance. And Disney lately right now does not seem to care about fixing their problems, and I don't know why that is, because I feel like the Disney World that we all grew up on, for the most part, if you're in your 30s like me, like, maybe it's different for everyone based on their lifetime, but I feel like Disney World used to be a lot more on their game, where they wouldn't even have a ride open unless it was working perfectly or working smoothly. But now they seem to just be on this kind of weird stint where they are trying to see how Epic Universe is going to work out for Universal as far as market share, and then also just kind of having their own ideas, but their construction's 5-10 years out, and that's weird and awkward too. But none of that, just the rides that they've had opened up for years, which includes Rise of the Resistance. It's I feel like they're just not fixing what already should be fixed and be running smoothly. So my point to this is that I'm really hoping that Epic Universe and Universal Orlando in general are working everything out right now to where the rides are almost always running smoothly. Now, I completely understand the fact that it's not possible to have breakdowns are going to happen no matter what. Rides go down every day. It's just how it goes. But just the fact that Disney World is okay with having some of their premium rides, the reason people really travel around the world to Orlando is to ride these rides, and Disney World does not really seem to care about having their rides run with the full experience. That gets on my nerves. It really does. And I love Disney World, but they're just not really. They seem like they just don't really care right now, and it's a very sad and frustrating guest experience, especially if people pay for the lightning lanes for a ride to cut the line or skip the line, and the ride isn't even fully running as far as the whole experience. So again, that's my main concern right now for Epic Universe, is that they are putting all this technology and efforts and time and immersiveness into these rides. So I'm hoping they don't run into the same issues as Disney World does, where they have, or at least hopefully they have a better attitude, if you would put it that way, a better attitude about just how their rides are going to eventually break down, and hopefully they take care of them. The maintenance is my main thing. So that's my experience. Sorry about the tangent there. It's just one of these things that's concerning me about Disney World more and more, is how they don't seem to care about keeping the rides going when you're paying all this money for that experience and you're just not getting it. So again, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Likes, dislikes. What are your favorite and most looking forward to rides? When are you going to Epic Universe? Are you going there this year at all, or just the summertime at all? There's still tickets available across the board. It's kind of crazy. But again, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.